Hey there, welcome back. Today's video, we're going behind the scenes on another studio workshop. This one is Beyond the Veil with the fabulous Alison King as our model. The concept behind this workshop was to take it a little further than just standard portrait. So we were doing all sorts of creative posing and lighting and shooting through things. So we had tulle, we had plastic, we had all sorts of things that we were shooting through. So it was a larger group this time. So I split them into two groups and they took turns in capturing their photos of Alison, whether this was standing or sitting or doing various poses. We had this fabulous great big white cyclorama or infinity wall that we were playing with. I had suspended this, it was like mosquito netting that I had suspended from a C-stand that you can see just off to the right there. And it was just really nice to be able to have a lot of room to move around and to capture all these gorgeous, beautiful flowing subjects. So that's just a couple of the images there. Then I've got some behind the scenes that my husband actually took for me. So it was really great to get some photos of me in action. I was talking to everybody. You can see we had so much room here and we had everybody just taking turns, taking some shots, and then standing back and letting everybody else have a turn. So it was really nice to get some more behind the scenes photos. Next, we went over to the other side of the studio and we had just black seamless paper set up. And what we did was we hung some really thin plastic off a backdrop stand in front of our model Alison. We had a slight costume change. So we changed a short tutu skirt out for a longer ballet skirt and a mask. And we were just playing around with you can see me there with a leaf blower. So we were just trying to get some movement happening in the plastic. And what the object was, not to get the perfectly in focus shot, but to let go of some of those photographic thoughts of having to chase perfection. And we were looking for light and shape and color. There's my husband there. He was on the leaf blower as well, so I could get some shots. And we were just having so much fun playing around with this concept. Are these award-winning shots? No, but it was great to just let go and be creative. And here's just a few photos of that. So that's a group shot behind the scenes, and then just a couple of images that I managed to capture and the details for those photos. So we switched back to the white cyclorama wall. It's really great to be able to jump from one side of the studio to the other. It was quite seamless and it was very quick. So we brought out that fabulous fringed hat that I made. You may remember that from the creative dance workshop that I ran a couple of months ago. Some of the people who were at that workshop came to this one, and some of the shots that we didn't quite manage to take last time, I thought we'd bring the hat out and play around with that again. So we got some shots of her standing on the floor. Because we were using constant LED lights, we weren't able to get the movement that we got last time. So there was no leaps or spins or anything like that. But we were able to get just some subtle movement with just sort of a few little twists and turns. So that's what everyone was playing with. We were getting quite a lot of blur happening in those images. They weren't sharp like they were if we were using speed lights to freeze the action with the fringe. Then we grabbed this little black stool, which was quite cute. We had Alison popped up on that, and we were just getting some photos, just again shooting through. So this whole thing was beyond the veil. So shooting through different fabrics and things like that. I was after shape and form, not necessarily even Alison's face. So that's why I had her tilted all the way forward just to get that fabulous shape. So we were just mucking about with things like that. Here's a few more behind the scenes photos. So that was just me talking to the group. There's some photos of some of the group shooting, and everyone was sort of jumping in and having fun. I was showing Alison a couple of shots that I was looking for, and here are some of the photos that I took. I don't shoot a lot during the workshops, but it's nice to grab some. Next, we dive back over to the black area of the studio. And this time we just had Alison in a leotard, but we hung some veils over her. So these are just some cheap bridal veils that I got off Wish or Temu or whatever. And I just sort of attached them together with a hair tie, just so that it made it easier for Alison to hold. And with minimal lighting, we were just shooting through the veil, and while Alison was just doing some free flowing movement. So it was just beautiful to have the constant light again hit the veil and was just lighting up some beautiful shape and shadow and form and just gorgeous. So this was something that we did spend a bit of time on, and we had a lot of beautiful creative shots coming out of this particular setup. We then got Alison just to get down on the floor, just to get some variations in our photos. Basically the same thing again, just moving with the veil and free flowing and just getting beautiful, beautiful shots, movement, which of course with the constant lights was creating a little bit of blur. Again, a few background shots. You can see everyone sort of standing there. It was quite dark. We were having minimal light. So just beautiful, beautiful shots that we were capturing. So from here, we took the veil off Alison and just handed her a piece of tulle. And we actually set up, so this was just something that we were experimenting with. It didn't work quite as well as we were hoping. But we had set up, Newer had sent me the F10 spotlight, and I was putting some gobos on that to see if we could get some really nice shots with the gobo and minimal light from the LED. Can't say I was a huge fan of it, but it was a lot of fun to try and experiment with, and you can use different colours as well. Next, it was time for a quick costume change. So we just had Alison in a pair of jeans and a nice linen shirt. We went over to the white wall again. I was still using the Newer F10 spotlight and gobo, as you can see here. And I was getting a little bit more oomph, I guess, happening on the white wall as I did on the black wall. I still had two constant lights set up on either side of this to bring a little bit more light to Alison's face, but I was still having the gobo action happening. We then turned that off. It's still in the shot, but we turned it off, and then we were just with the two constant LED lights, just taking some really nice shots of Alison. Normally I have her dancing and twirling and spinning. So it was great to actually get some really nice fashion-styled photos. And I'll just quickly share just a couple of the shots that I got. So it was nice to be able to take some proper portraits or some standard portraits, I guess, of Alison. We then had we had so many props and sets to choose from at Magic Frames studio where we did this workshop, and I had this really cool fur coat which you may or may not remember from the Cheshire Cat shoot. So we left the rest of the cat behind and just pulled out this fur coat. We had Alison pose on this amazing sort of divan that was in white and gold, and we got her a glass of champagne, which was just water and tea. And she had a lot of fun posing on that. We then pulled out this red divan that we put on the black seamless backdrop, and we were taking some beautiful darker sort of moodier shots with that. Our last setup for the day was there was this little area where it was so many flowers, so we threw Alison in there and just took a couple of shots of that as well. So that was just loads of fun to play with. And that was the end of the workshop. Of course, we finished off with a fabulous group shot. So big thanks to everybody, and of course to Alison as well. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed a little sneak peek behind the scenes at one of my workshops. As you can see, lots of fun. There's lots of hands-on shooting, lots of tips and tricks, and I'm there to answer all of your questions. So if you're in Melbourne, why not join me for the next workshop? But if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, maybe even subscribe, and I will see you next time on YouTube. Bye!